channel. Today I would like to show you how much you can actually make with one of the Fimo starter packs. This is the 24 one. You can get one that's just got 12 in, but I thought I'll go for the big one, and with the 24 different colours altogether. It's the basic ones. I think there is another one that you can get that's got the effects in, which is like your pearls and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll go and condition all these clays and I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. Got all my clays conditioned and in separate plastic pieces so that they can stay prepped and they don't get dirty. So what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to pick some colours to put together and create some skinner blends, and then I think I'll just do different types of canes. So I think these darker colours, leave the back to one side, these darker colours like the browns, I know I'm probably not going to put them into my pieces because they're not a colour that I really like to work with, so I think I might keep them as bead filler. There is a white and a cream, and then there's a very pale grey. We can use those for lightening the other colours if we want. So I'll start with these ones. Oh, got a very pale pink. I think we'll start. Oh, I might go with one of these yellows. We'll go with. Oh, it's a big pop. Might do that one. And we'll see. Might put a bit of this green together, I think. Let's have a play. So I think they might actually work quite well together. So it would help if I had my blade. Right. So I'm wanting to get as much variant between colours as I can. It's stuck to the plastic. These are just card plastic envelopes that you get to keep your cards clean when you've made them. Right, I think I'll go with that was a yellow. Don't really measure when I'm doing this. I just keep adding to it if I want any more. So I'll do the same with all three of those colours. I'll get some sort of measure it that way so we know we've got similar amounts. Just want to get as much as you can out of your clay. So last one. Like that. So I think I'm going to do the teardrop method with these rather than doing the triangles and putting them together that way. So I'll show you what to do. I'll just roll it up into a ball. And I've got gold leaf from my previous video that's everywhere, so we'll have some nice sparkly beads at the end of it, I'm sure. So just get your ball, roll it one side so it goes a bit like that, thinner at the bottom, and then squish. Very technical term, squish. I'll do the same with all of those. See, and what I'll do with these once I've done the blend, I'll either make some leaf canes, flower kit petal canes, and we'll see what we can from there. But I like doing my blends first, and then I can work with what I've got, and I get a better idea of what I want to do with the blend. I have a box of all the ones that are blended, and then I decide what I'm going to do with them afterwards. I just like seeing how the colours are going to turn out. So I don't know if I want that way around, and then we'll see what the green goes like with the orange. It may not go nice, and it may work, so we shall see. Worst comes to worst, it's bead filler. So I think I'm going to go with them that way, and we'll see what happens. So I'm going to be using my pasta machine. because it'll take me ages if I just use a roller, but so I don't break my pasta machine, I just roll it out so it's thin enough to go out. So I've said in my other videos, doing a skinner blend, it's basically rolling it out. I'll roll it out once and then I can show you properly. Right, so that's when it's gone through on the thickest setting on my machine. So all you do is you fold it up and then you keep entering the pasta machine with the folded side. Never go in this way, because then it'll just blend all your colours into one rather than giving you your blend between your three. So you put that in that way through and it'll squish all the air out of it, and then you'll get a nice skinner blend. So I'll go and do that and I'll be back. Right, I'm back. I've blended our first blend that we were going to do, and we've got some nice yellows and a dark orange going from the orange into the green. So what I usually do is, because at the end where you've been rolling it through, your pasta machine can become a little bit crumbly. Not sure why, it just always does on my machine. Yours might be different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create quite a few blends and then I'll come back when I've done them all, but I want to show you how I store and cut my blends. Right, now as you can see, I've got a grid underneath my chopping board, and as you can see, this side of it is billowing out. Now when I'm doing a cane, I like to make sure that the piece that I've got is completely straight. That's just my thing, you don't have to, but what I find is if I chop it down to a size that's straight, and then the bit that I leave off here I can make other things with, which I'll be showing you later on. But as you can see, this is like, it's like 4 inches and a little bit, but there's only really 3 inches of full blend. So what I do is, I've got a dog hair there, right, so I'll go to the, I can't see at the top end there because I'm going on the other one. Right, so I line my big blade up at the top and the bottom of where the fullest, I'm going by inches on this one, so I separate it. So I've got this little bit that I can create all sorts of other little tiny beads with, or even lentil beads if I wanted to. But when I'm storing my blends, I'll have that one saved separately and then this one to the side of it, so I know that that's my excess, and then anything that I get left out of this one I can use for my lentil beads. But I like to make lots of little different things with these cut off bits, because we can't waste any clay because it's expensive. So I've got that one. I'm going to have a play around with all the other colours now. I've got quite a bit of a choice to be going through here, so watching me keep doing all of these is going to be rather boring. So I might take some pictures of the blends when I've done them, and then I'll come back at the end and you can see them all. But I'm really liking the purple's my favourite, and then I've got some nice blues, a really nice dark blue there. So I'll have a play around and make lots of skinner blends, and I'll come back and we'll see what we do. Thanks. Back. I've made some skinner blends. Apologies for the noise in the background, it's my son, and we're homeschooling as it's lockdown, as you probably already know. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to work with these blends and make different canes. I'll speed it up and put some music behind it or something so that you can just watch, you don't have to listen to me waffling on. I have done a video on different types of things that you can do with the skinner blend. But I will do cane videos at a later date. This is just for you to see what you can get from the starter pack that I showed you. So I think I'm going to start with this red one. I'll put it with some really light pink, and I think I might do a rose cane with this one. So hope you enjoy. kins done. Got a lead cane and a cabbage roots cane. So I'll crack on with some more. Right, I think I'll do a spiral cane now. And that's a spiral cane. Right, I think I'll do a flower cane now. just thought I'd give you an update on what I've got made so far. I've made a few canes off camera because it get a bit boring just me doing them all and you're sitting there watching. I've got a nice starburst flower What else have I made off screen? Oh, and I've done like an autumn leaf packing. Excuse the toy noise in the background, that's my son. Got a rainbow stack cane and a basket weave cane, and then I've saved my scraps into the different colourways so I can either blend them together or make lentils or some. Good boy. Right, so these are the bits that are left over from the blends that I've done. I'll do something in a bit with those. But then this is the clay, what's left over. I'll move this out so you can see it better. So as you can see, it's little bits of colours. So what I'm going to do now is go through them and see which ones I can blend together so that I've got more of a single colour rather than little bits of lots of other ones. So I'll cut out talking and background noise for now, and I'll talk to you again in a bit. Right, I'm back. I've blended some colours together, so I've got a bit more of amount of each colour for me to be able to do. Got a different blue to what I had before, and I got another shade of brown, and I put the little bits of oranges and yellows together. So what else did we got? Oh, we've got quite a nice bit of this purple. So I'll make a couple more canes and then we'll get on with making some beads. Time to make some beads. Apologies for the sounds in the background, and my sons are just having a bath. But what I'll do first is I'll show you these cabbage rose beads that I've done. My camera ran out of battery, so that's why it didn't get captured me doing the first few. So right, so this is a cane that you saw me make, sorry, and I've reduced it down so it's quite small. So to do these ones, this is probably about a 1.5 inch, 1.25 inch wide circle cutter. I think I got it from IKEA actually, it was in a set. I use this so I get the same amount for each bead that I do, and then I cut this in half and then just make it into a ball. Really easy, these beads. You can just leave them as a ball, but I like to flatten them and make them into discs. So right, got this little ball. Now it's just making little slices from your cane. Let's see if I can zoom in for you a little bit so you can see a bit closer. There we go. Right, so it doesn't matter if you get some slices that are like that one, that are not a full piece. I don't know whether if that's, can't see from the angle that I am whether if it's focusing for you, but basically it's just try to get your full slices. If you don't worry about it. So just get your half pieces, because it doesn't really matter because you're going to be like overlapping them anyway, and then when you smooth them out you're not really going to be able to tell any difference anyway. Apologies for the lighting, because it's quite a rather long video that I'm making. I'm having to do some on an evening when it's got darker, and I'm not one of these whiz jigs that have got you know, all the videoing equipment, so I'm just using my work lamp that I have. Right, so I've covered it all up, and then just swirl it around on your work surface and it sort of just smooths out. Yeah, just refine it in your hand a little bit. Oh, I don't know if you can see. Don't know whether if it's focusing, I can't see very well, but that's that one. And then just to flatten it, I use my acrylic block just to start the process off. You can try and sort of make it so that, like on these ones, I've managed to get a full slice as the front of the bead. You don't have to. It was just me being finicky when I was doing it. So I've pressed it out, and then if you rotate it like this, so if you're pressing on the flat side with one finger and thumb, and then the edges with the other hand. Now to make sure that you've got the same size, I like to put that on there. Because it's clear, you can see from the side whether if they're the right, if they're the same thickness. I'm trying to get a decent view for you so you can see. So you'll have to take my word for it, because I'm not a very good camera person, but that's it. So I'll show you how to make the mini donuts that I've done. These were just using a swirl cane that I made. Where is it? Oh, there we go. This was just using one of the blends that I made at the beginning, and I've reduced it down and sliced it small and done the same sort of procedure, but then I've turned it into a mini donut bead. So what I've done with these ones, because I wanted these a little bit thicker, rather than cutting the circle in half like I did for the other beads, I've used a full circle. Clay off me work mat. So smooth out your ball. It doesn't have to be perfect, so I've just walloped the camera there. Right. Now you can pretty much do this with any type of cane. It doesn't have to be the ones that I'm using. It's just what I decided to do. Right, so let's see. I like to make beads in even amounts of numbers, so that, like, say if I decided I want to make a pair of earrings or your necklace, I like to have the even on the sides, and then the focal of the necklace would be like the odd one in the drop or something. So got some stuck together there. Sometimes it's a bit long. It's a bigger ball to cover. Right, let's put the last few slices on. There we go. So the same as you did with the other beads. It's got nice and smooth, and you find it a bit in your hand. So on with this one. Now, if you've got any patches that have not got cane covered over it, you want to try and get that where your hole's going to be covered out, but I've managed to get everywhere. So I'll try and get it so that it's a bit where the spirals are meeting up. So I'll just press it down. I've done these ones just a tad bigger than the other beads that I was showing you. So just press it down. So now, depending on what you want, how you want to string your donuts, is the size that you want to put in the middle. This one I've done sort of medium size hole, so I like to put a crystal or something in the middle. Oh, and that's my dog going. So I'm just using a little plunger cutter, and save this for scraps. And that's your donut bead. So I'll crack on and make some more beads now, and I'll put a bit of music on or something. Don't want to hear me waffling on for ages. Thought, while I've got a bit of quiet time and I've got the living room to myself for a bit, I'll show you what I like to do with these ends of the blends that I made. There's that one first, seeing as it's come off all together. Now you can use it at the thick setting that you've done it on, but to spread it out a little bit, I'll just go down a couple of settings and get more from your blend that's left over. Now, depending on what you want to do with these, I like to either make little leaves or flowers. These little butters that you can get online, they're fantastic. You can make your clay go so much further. And there's you can do all different sizes of these. I'll show you the little flowers first. So, in fact, I'll not do the flowers with those ones because I don't think I'd want any brown flowers actually at the moment. I've got ones. So instead, I'll show you my little leaves. Right, so depending on what size, there I've got this is the second smallest. So it's just punching out. It's just so that you get the same amount each time for your leaves. You don't have to do this. I just like it. I try to do random, but it never actually turns out random for me. I always end up doing a pattern way without even thinking about it. So this clay that you'd usually just think, oh, it's wasted, it's not. It can go much further by just doing these. So I'll carry on cutting them out off camera. So just get your little piece that you've cut, roll it into a ball. Squish it, very technical term, squish it flat, then point it towards the bottom. So I've got a bit of gold leaf on my fingers, extra sparkle again. So you can see, then use your needle tool and put a line down the middle and then do veins. Learned how to do these from Susan at Turtle Soup Beads, and they're fantastic because I'm always looking for different ways to use up what I've got left. And then because these are so thin, well, and small, I just put a little hole right at the top for using them, because I use them for fringe or bead embroidery. Just redefine your leaves. You make them all different sizes. It doesn't have to be, small like these ones, but that's just the little leaves that you can do with them. Pop them to one side and I'll show you how to do the flowers. You don't want to see me doing all of those on screen. It's a bit like watching paint dry. So move these all over here, so they're out of the way. Right, let's pick another one. Oh, I think I'll go for this nice blue. My daughter loves blue, so I'll make some for her. Right, and I'll just run it through past the machine so it's a bit thinner. Right, I think I'll go with the daisy. This is the second smallest daisy, so I'll try and get the side that's not got creases on. So again, you're just pushing it down into the clay and then push your plunger up and it comes off just like that. Now when you're using one of these blends, it's nice because you'll get a full varied colour swatch of just all of them. So I'll carry on cutting those out off camera, but I'll show you what you can leave them just like that, or you can do this. Another tip that I got from Susan. Right, you can either do lines either in between the petals like this, so I did a set of these cutters in my cake decorating stuff before and they weren't getting used, and then when I saw Susan's video I thought, they're not going to get wasted any longer. And then a hole right in the middle for you to string it. You can put bits of mica powder and things in the middle, just to give it a different look. The other way of doing them, I'll show you on the lighter coloured clay, because I think the dark one will be hard to see where I put the lines. The other one is, rather than putting them in between the petals, do it down the middle. Just depends on what you want. The bigger ones you can put 2 or 3 lines on the petals. It just spreads it out and just a little bit of addition on to make your beads look that bit nicer. Like I say, you can use them on their own. That's those ones. So I'll pick another one to use for the daisy punch that I've got, and I'll finish these off screen. Right, so we'll use this one now, which is I think this is the smallest daisy one. I can't see any smaller in my set at the moment. So let's go for this nice bright one. So again, just rolling it through the pasta machine. Now this one, I found, because I've got a glass surface, it's a bit easier sometimes to have the clay on a piece of paper. The reason being is that when you use the cutter, it doesn't. Sometimes it'll get stuck to the glass surface or whatever you're working on, and then it's hard to get it out without distorting it. So I'll just show what I do with this one. So I'll push it down, and then it comes up. Don't worry about it having fluff around the edges. If it sticks in your cutter like this, don't worry, you're going to plunge it out. But I found that it's good to push those little bits down and then just push it out. And there you go. Again, with these ones you can do the same thing with oh, you look a bit random on my flower, gold leaf, come on off. So again, you can go around each individual one, but these teeny tiny ones I just like to leave them as they are, and then push that through, and then if you like put it into a little cup. And these ones, again, I like putting a bit of colour into these ones, just so they look like proper daisies. So again, I'll do those ones off screen. So I'll go and do those ones and I'll be back. I'll show you how to make some little snail beads. This is basically just using the striped cane that I made. In the middle is just a long thin snake of scrap clay or whatever you've got out your pack. I was just using some of mine than you know, the darker stuff that I know I'm not going to use. You basically just slice off a layer of your striped cane, and then you wrap it round the log. This took 2 slices to go all the way around. Now this is probably about as thick as one of those toddler type pencils. So I'm just rolling it out just to make it longer. So I'm hoping with this one I can probably get about 10 beads, so I need to make it about 10-inch long. But as I'm rolling it out, it doesn't matter that it's twisting, because that's what we're wanting to get that stripe swirl pattern. These lovely little beads are good for fringe and just adding a bit of extra movement to your jewellery. And also make candy canes for your Christmas tree like this. Right, so we're getting there now. So you just push in one side and pull in the other one, and it just twists the snake of clay. As you can see, this one's not twisting as much on this end, so let's give it a twist that way. Now the more you twist it, it's up to you what you want to do. Oh, and I've gone and broke it. Let's squidge it back together, don't matter. Must have been an air pocket there. I'll try and make that the end of one of the beads, and it'll not matter. Right, because I've got 10-inch to 10-inch either side of this, so just a little bit more. Right, there we go. So, right. So I cut them off at 1 inch. You can make them as big or as small as you like. Oh, I think I've gone a bit too small on that one, but never mind. Let's start again. Take that bit out, we'll make some smaller ones. Right, so I'll pop them to one side. So at the moment you can see the skinny tube, but what we need to do now is just pinch the ends, and it brings the coloured clay up around the centre core. So you're basically making it thinner on the ends, and then you have it chunkier in the middle. So once you've got it covered, you can just rub it on wherever your work surface is that you've got. Right, so if you can see there, it's fatter in the middle and thinner at the sides. That's for us to be able to do this. So just get one of your ends and curl it round. Try and do it up here, and then you can see better. And then curl round, and there you've got your little snail. So, and those are lovely little beads for adding just a little bit of difference, and they're really, really light because there's hardly any clay there for them to do it all. So I'll get those done. I'll fast forward through this bit because you don't want to watch me doing this for ages, because it'd be like watching paint dry. So I'll forward this. I'll make it go faster, this bit. There you go. Something with this again, the basket weave. You can use it as a background, or you can just do some collage beads, which I think I'll do that. So for those, you just basically need some clay that you're not bothered over using rather than bead filler, because you don't want to waste the clay. So I'll use a bit of a blue left that I'll use to make some donuts. And then that way, if any of the cracks show out, you'll not be able to see funny colour clay. You'll just get a blue that'll match with it. Just warm the clay back up. It's been sat for a while. See, I've not kept everything conditioned fully all the time, just so I can wake it up if I'm wanting to reduce things. Or so I'll run this through the pasta machine just so that we get a bit that we can use. So I'll run it through on the thickest setting, which is number 1 on my pasta machine, and then I will use my trusted little cutters and I'll go for the biggest one. I'll go for the next side down, because I prefer a smaller bead than to a large one. Excuse my dog and cats running around in the background. So again with this, it's using it so that you've got the same amount of clay for all your beads. Stand there. And then just roll it into a little ball. These are not very big beads at all. I think mine might only need a couple of slices on them to cover them up, but we shall see. If they're too small, then we can always put some more together. I think I might have to go a bit bigger with these ones actually. Right, try that again. So we'll go for the biggest one. See, it's just a process of seeing how it goes when you're going along with things. Let's try that again. Right, got the biggest one now. I think that might be a bit better. Right, so try again. So you don't need to get full sliced perfectly, because we're doing it in a ball. They're gonna have to curve around it anyway, so it doesn't really matter if it folds up or if it's not a full piece. If it bothers you, then obviously, you know, you try and work it as to how you like it, but I don't mind. They're just little filler beads for me. And you can mould these into many different shapes. I've done a video on lentil beads and what shapes you can actually turn them into. But these ones I think I'll just use as little ball beads. That's it, just rubbing it against there is like a little collage bead. Don't know whether if that's focusing, I can't see properly. So that's that one. I'll show you once again and then I'll finish the rest off camera. And then we'll have a look in the box, see what we've actually got left. Oh, my cat's wanting to get in on the action now. Come on, you're knocking camera. Come on. If I ain't got kids coming at me, it's an animal. Can't complain. I love them to bits, my fur babies. Just keep going over it and it'll smooth out the cracks and it'll blend it all together. Don't do it too much in your hand because it can distort the pattern even further than what it will be putting a flat pattern around a circular one. So there it is, lovely little basket weave. Right, so that's another one that I'll finish off screen because that can get really boring. Right, let's have a look what we've got left in my box of tricks. So I've got quite a lot of chopped canes left over from canes that I've made. I've got a little bit of clay left over, and then I've got some bits of cane left. I've not done any Natasha beads yet, so I might try doing one of those with some of the scrap clay and make some lentils and things. I might be able to get another one or two canes out of the clay that's left, or I might have to use that as bead filler. So I shall go off camera now and do a little bit more, and I'll come back when I've got some ideas of what I'm going to do. I think I'll make a couple of pod beads with this little bit of petal cane that's left over. So rather than using the cane ends what I've got, I think I'm going to use some of the coloured clay because I think the chopped cane pieces will go nicely together. I'm just deciding which one I want to go for. This green. So this is already rolled out on number one in my pasta machine. We'll see how many pods we can get out of just this little bit of cane that's left over. And then if I can't get any more, then I shall turn it into the chopped cane with the rest of the ends that came off it. So let's start with 3. So again, just making your little bowl. ball now. I'm just going to pinch one end into a cone. Until I've been doing a lot of clay this morning because my fingers are going green. Look like Hulk. Right, so this is a really tiny one. You can make them bigger. I just like making them small. I think I'll make my cane a bit smaller actually, because I'll not get many layers on it if I use it at the size that it's on. I prefer smaller beads because it's just my personal preference really. You can make these bigger. I've made them bigger in the past, but then I've not been too keen on what they've turned out like, so I started making them smaller and preferred working with the smaller ones. Right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go round the cone with slices. So we'll just make one. So for each round you need 4 slices. So usually it's between 12 and 16 for doing them these tiny sides. So, and then I just go, whoop, slices have stuck together. Come on. Right, these first two that go on, you don't really see down past the tip. But got that there. I'm trying to make sure that I'm in focus. There we go. So then it's just going over that seam. There, so that's your first round. So then you get another 4 slices. They look a bit like weather cones really, with how they go on. So then your next round, just going over the other creases. So I like to go opposites to start with, and then the ones at the other side, you know you've got to marry up with either side of the ones you've just put on. And then after this round, it's basically you can go over one crease. Just the first 2 rounds are that way. So I'll show you now. Right, so you can see there now, I like to put the coloured tip where it starts to join. Again, I still like to go opposites. It's just the way I like to do them. You can do the one next to them, it's just, again, personal preference. So there we go. So I need 16 for this one. So I might only get maybe one more bead out of this, but you can only hope that you get more. Oop, one down. So I'm only doing them like a 1 or 2 millimeters thick, these slices. They don't need to be very thick. Yeah, that's a bit last round. So there. And your last 2, just like that. There, so you've got some teeny tiny little pop beads. So I'll make one more and see what we've got left. If there's not enough to make any more out of that, I'll just chuck it in with the chopped cane bits and make some lentils. There we go, all done. So just out of that sort of little inch long piece of cane, I've managed to get 2 more pop beads. Alright, so this will go in the scrap pile that's in my box. And then I think we might make make some marguerite beads from this flower, and then I shall do some more work off camera, and then I might come and see you at the end once I've got done, or I might show you what I get done with the solid colours that I've got left. But right, let's get my trusty measuring tool if I can find it. Never where you want it. Right. Right, so this is a 5mm one. That's just right, I'll be able to get a good few out of these ones. Now, marguerite beads are basically just they've got the hole in the centre of the bead rather than going side to side. You can use them in bead embroidery, or you can use them as your clasps on your jewellery, or even as decoration in your other jewellery parts. You just have to string them a bit differently. Right, so let's try and get that back into the round. Right, so for these ones, actually I'll find my ball tool, because I like to round them out and make them a little more cupped. The marguerite beads. It's just a large ball tool. I've had it ages, I'm not right sure where I actually got it from. It'll have been either at eBay or Amazon or something like that. Right, and needle tool. Yeah. So I'll just push in slightly on them, so it's starting to define the petals. Gives me an idea of where to come to, and get the smaller end, and then it's just pushing down. Try the bit to start with. Right, so it's put that little dip in the middle, and I like to push into each of the petals so it looks like it's more cupped. So then once I've done that, I'll finish pushing the petals in. You see, it's up to you whether you want to go on the back. Just push them in a little bit on the back. There we go. Right, so I've got that. Put that back in a little bit. I've curved it by doing that. And then just go straight through the centre of the bead. Just like that. So, and then it's ready to be used. So again, I'll do the rest of those off camera, because I were playing away with my clay and I thought I better do some where I'm actually showing you what I'm doing. Right, so I've got that bit of a cane left. I might do the same with that one, and might make a few donuts and things and use these as embellishments, and then I shall have a think of what to do with the rest. Because I'm dwindling down into the last few bits of plain colours that I've got, it's trying to think what will actually go together. I might just make lots of the little flowers and heart shapes and things like that, rather than trying to make a blend of something. And then I'll show you them all at the end, because it's pretty much now I'm going to be repeating all the techniques that I've showed you so far anyway. So I shall see you at the end once I've got these all made and baked and glazed, and then we'll see how much we got. Right, I've finally finished with the pack, and I'm quite pleased with how much I've got out of it. I've managed to get 3 trays, so I'll show you a tray at a time. This is about as far out as I can zoom, and my husband's left the tripod low down. I don't want to break it, so I'll try and do the best I can with showing you. So these are just some nice little pod beads. I've done various sizes, and I've done some half pod beads, which are good for bead embroidery. And then I made some leaf sort of shapes, or teardrop shapes, whichever you want to call them, with 2 different canes. They were, sorry, that one was originally round, but I thought I'll just pinch it and see what it came out like. And then I've got some marguerite flowers, which has just got the hole in the middle like I told you, and then I've just got some regular little flower beads. Then I've got some lentil beads. Some I've left with the sort of pointed edge, and some that I've made into a disc, you know, so it's flatter on the side. I've not glazed all of this yet because I have to take advantage when the house is quiet for me to take a video of this. So I've managed to get these local flowers glazed, and I used UV resin on how to make those, to glaze those, sorry. And then got some flat pack pods, and then some decorated lentil beads in different sizes. And then the donut beans, I quite like this one. I'm looking forward to working with that one. That was just the plain white clay and some slices of cane that I got left over. So I'll go on to tray number 2. Now this one I've got large focal beads, which I've done with Natasha's and with lentils. This one is a collage bead that I've just shaped into a heart, and that's the keyring one that I showed you how to do with the wooden backs. Now I've never made any of this shape before, and I quite like them. I just did a lentil, a larger one, and then I just shaped it into sort of a diamond shape, and then just put a few cane slices on with what I've got left. But I rather like those. I'm not sure which way I'm going to bead it, so because I've not drilled them yet. I thought I might either go side to side on a necklace, or have it as a pendant hanging down that way. And same with these ones, they're just smaller, so I'll have to have a think about what I'm going to do with those. I've got different types of leaves. Now with these, the tray's falling off. Come on in. Oop, there. Don't spill them. Right, so I took some cane slices, but I've done different thicknesses. Reason being, it's got these thinner ones I can use for bead embroidery, so the lighter for if I turn them into a piece that I'm going to string into jewellery. And these are the thicker ones. I think these were about 5mm thick. I've done the same with the green leaves, and then these ones are just like the little ones that I made when we were doing the keyring, just using the point of my needle tool. And then I've got different snail beads, different colours. I think they're just really nice and bright. You can just add them onto a different bracelet and things, and it just jazzes them right up. Then the next one round is just some little ball beads I've done with the basket weave cane, with the cabbage rose cane that I made. And then these teeny tiny ones were lentil beads. I don't know whether if you can see the swirl very much on the camera. But it's basically just a tiny lentil, and then I've squidged the sides in and rolled it just to refine the shape. Now these ones are just little flat discs out of the spiral cane that I made. I've put holes in some of them and left the other ones till I decide what I'm going to do, because I thought the ones that I've put a hole in the middle are good for like bead embroidery, you know, to have them flat, whereas some of the other ones I might just skewer going through it, and then they can be added onto some jewellery. And then these ones are what I call little disc beads. It's basically just like a cabbage, a collage bead that I've just flattened, and I made it with basically it was the same process of doing these, just covering a piece of scrap clay, and then I just flattened it out, and I've worked it so that one full slice of the cane is on the top, so you're getting the full effect of the cane that you've made. And then the final tray is this one. Now this one was done with all the leftover pieces from all the canes and just bits and pieces that were left over, and I thought, well, I can't waste any of this clay. So these ones in the middle are just little dot beads in all different colours, great for bead embroidery. These ones like carnation flowers cutters, and just putting different lines in just to make them more defined for more of an effect. I've not put any powder on these ones like I did the, I think it was the daisy ones that I did. And then these are just little heart beads, again fantastic for bead embroidery. You can put them on jewellery pieces as well, but they're so light, you know, you won't feel that anything's there really. And then we've got, these are the daisy ones that I've done with the colour on in the centre. I've just left all the other ones plain because I quite like the matte look on that. And then I'm not right sure what to call these ones, because this has got a 6 petal rather than the 5 one. It just looks like little hearts have been squished together. So this is like the 5 petaled one, and those are the 6 petaled one. Just slightly different, but another type of cutter that you can get to use up your last remnants of clay. Now these ones are the daisy beads, but larger. It's not my idea to do them like this. Again, I watch Susan a lot, and she did a lovely bracelet with them, and it's just fantastic. So I've done one before of the daisy bracelets when she brought the video out, and I thought I'll make myself another one with the things I've made from this kit, but I really like those colours. I love purple and pink. Now these are just the larger versions of those small ones. Now I've put the hole in the middle so I can use it as a sort of as a clasp on a bracelet or a necklace or something, or again if I want to put it in bead embroidery, I'd just put my little sea beads as stoppers in the middle, and just another effect. Now these, I didn't have any cane slicers to finish these ones off. I have done a tutorial on how to do the cats. I'm in the process of doing one for the dog pendant, but it was just basically the Skinner blend of colours that were left over that I've made all the other things from. And I thought I'll just cut them out and then I can decorate them with other clay that I've got. I just wanted to show you how much you can actually get from one of these starter packs. I think the colour on these beads is fantastic, because I was worried that they were going to turn muddy, you know, towards the end, you know, we're trying to mix different colours together, but I didn't really have any problems. I really enjoyed doing this. It's taken me a good 2 weeks to work through the clay pack, but if you're just wanting to give it a try, then this is probably the best thing for you to get, just to have a play with. Sorry, excuse my phone. You can get the 12 colour packs, but I got this one for Christmas, so I thought it'd be good for you to see. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it inspired you to have a go at clay, and I'll see you soon. Bye!